was on the treadmill like below me, so I was like looking down at her, and she was wearing like this like really crazy pattern leggings, and so like, but she was like walking on the treadmill like the girls on Instagrams with the butts, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it wasn't like a real thing. Like, you could tell she wanted people to look, and I was like, Dad, she did have like a nice ass. So I was like, I mean, you know, it's here. But then she started running, but it was like she's like wearing like a whole face of makeup, like her hair was in curls. It's just like it was so extra.
She probably couldn't even sweat.
And she's just like,
face couldn't breathe.
And like she did that for like, I swear it was less than a minute that she was like running, but she was looking like she was running harder than what the treadmill was doing. And then she stopped and she like, it was just like such a scene. And I was like, do women really do this? Because I like go to the gym looking busted. Like, no, I go there to literally like sweat, look disgusting, and then I leave. But there's like a lot of girls there that are like full face of makeup, and
she's doing it for y'all.
The only time I go with a full face of makeup is if I literally come from work.
That's
but
it.
I mean, but like my hair is in a messy bun. I look terrible like 4 to 5 days out of the rest of the week when I go to the gym.
Yeah, but it was really interesting because you could tell she wanted men, like the
male population.
Yeah, she wanted their attention. She got my attention. But
you got one, baby.
But I was just like, this is like, it was like watching Instagram in real life. It was really weird.
Instagram in real life.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those Instagram fitness
some of them
situations.
they got some fitness models out there.
You know,
they be killing it.
I admire them.
Good. Yeah, but like, and I get those
I have a
girls.
few favorites.
But then like, I'm talking about, because I follow a couple of girls that are like in the gym, but they're definitely not like in a full face, like, you know what I'm saying? You can tell it's not for a look. Like, they're actually like, hey, this is what I do, and I'm sweating for real. But like, no, it was definitely some girls
especially
in there
when they make the faces that like, you know, when they're lifting heavy or they're doing stuff, and you're like, oh, she don't care, but hey, that's a great move. I'm gonna try that next time. Right.
But then you have the ones that are like, oh.
Yeah. And I don't care if you're a man or a woman. 5-pound dumbbells. Stop. If you
do enough of them.
No, have you ever done body bear?
They're doing it just for the video.
Body bar. Have you ever done body bar?
Body bar.
Oh, Nick
took a class.
Yes, I took it once on accident, and we had 2.5 and 5 pound weights. And I swear everyone was dying, like, once we were done. I was like, how can I not lift? I couldn't even lift the 2.5s anymore because I was just like so burnt out.
No, do the whenever I'm feeling brave, I do the stair climber, but I do the 5-pound strap-ons on my legs.
Yeah.
And that will kill you. Jay, shut up. I know that's not what they're called, but that's what I just called them, so leave me alone.
I'm like, yeah,
5 pounds.
Yeah,
5 pounds.
I know exactly what that is.
Okay. I've never used one of those.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But they make your legs tired after 20 minutes in the stair climber.
Ankle weights?
Yes.
You knew what she was talking about, though.
Because you strap them on.
It's not about me, but what about the listeners?
You strap them on your ankles. I'm not a fitness model.
I'm not supposed to be politically correct when I'm telling people my workout.
I just want to help the listeners know that 5-pound strap-on.
They go into an academy. Excuse me, I'd like to buy 5-pound
strap-ons.
Ankle weights.
Ankle weights, guys. 5 pounds, one on each while you're doing that.
See, I don't use those. Apparently, they can give you like water on your knees if you use them too much.
Give you what?
Water,
like your knees will start hurting. Like some people, I used to run with ankle weights on.
Oh God, no!
I can't run on a treadmill.
No. I would run
like outside.
I run like 5 miles with them.
I can't. My knees will hurt if I do treadmill like 3 or 4 days in a row.
I'm an old lady. Yeah. I can't do it at all. It hurts my knees.
You know, the thing I really admire though about like the Instagram models and all that stuff is like,
The dedication.
No, like if I try to record myself doing something, even if I know I'm doing it in correct form, it's really awkward for me because it's like I'm recording, so I know Instagram people are watching me, but then I also know that the people around the gym are watching me, and it's like, what the fuck is she doing? So the ones that actually
they know what you're doing.
Well, but it's like
you're not the only one that's doing it.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know. They have that confidence where they're just like, I don't care. I'm gonna do this.
No, yeah.
Or like even like one of Stacy's friends, like she posts like videos where she's like. And I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that. I feel like an asshole.
You can do it too.
Like, and I'm like, I want to do that, and I feel stupid. But perception is reality.
Especially since like now I've been at an all women's gym for so long, and now I go to 24, and so like that it's really a transition because I'm used to just working around like older white women that are like, you know, and there's some like really nice looking white women that are there too, but like I'm around a lot of like, especially a lot of men that are there, and that's so different, and that makes it awkward for me, but I'm getting used to it, I guess.
You can do it too.
Yeah, just.
You used to do it before, you had an all-women's gym.
Yeah.
At one point you were like the rest of us, Stacey. You went to a regular gym.
But then you started balling.
You know me and Stacey? We used to go to the gym together like 4 or 5 times a week, and it was fun.
We did.
Men and women and all.
But it was also like at 9 o'clock at night.
It was really late.
And so it was like, it was hardly anybody there anyways.
Not on a Monday. Them
It was
packed from 5 until.
Yeah, during the week at about 9, it wasn't packed.
Monday is National I'm about to get it back day.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday, nobody there.
Friday and Saturdays are
I'm still
dead.
trying to get it back. And then Thursday, Friday, nobody in there again.
Yep, Friday and Saturday I've noticed
start
have been
next
dead.
week.
And unfortunately, I'm there all those days.
Yep. So
It's due to cake.
piece of cake.
No, I said it's due to cake. That's what I meant 5 times.
What? We're gonna get a piece of cake?
That's what I did. I was asleep on the chair. And I was half asleep, and I heard something, and all I heard was cake, and I'm like, huh? What? And he was like,
she hella dead on the sofa. She like not even coherent.
and he's
And I
like,
was like, yo, you want a piece of cake? She was like, hey, you want a piece of cake? Did you make the cake?
who made it?
I said, my mom made it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I said, yeah. She was like, where is it? I didn't even tell her where it was. She just got up and it's like she automatically knew where cake was.
I was so asleep, and I was like, sure, cake? What? Yeah, where?
Yeah, back to cake. Oh, cool.
All right. Well,
amazing.
Stay sorry.
Jessica Lola.
King Kong.
And we
are. Houston, I'm just saying. Why'd you whisper it like that, though?
Man, you gotta say shit.
I thought there was a long pause, and I was like, is she gonna say, and we are? And I was I also forgot the 51 at the end of mine, but it's fine.
Just,
let's do it over.
Okay. All right. I'm Stay Sorry.
Jessica Lola.
You never say Jessica Lola 51.
I just realized that.
We damn know what episode 28. This episode 28.
She's like, I always said no. You never say Jessica Lola 51 ever.
Why did I think it? Sorry, guys.
What were you said? I'm just saying that's who we are.
Yeah, with them, and we're
King Kong
just
P.
saying shit completely opposite of what we normally say.
I feel like we haven't recorded in a while.
Next time, Stace gonna be like, "Oh, Stace _Ari," like she's gonna switch it all the way up.
That's what it is.
I'm gonna say KING.
Stace _Ari without the I.
Yeah.
We're missing something.
What?
Because we used to always
like an
miss
E.
the letter.
Chase misspelled it for the first 15 episodes.
No,
just in case you
I
want
would spell it wrong,
to check
right?
that out.
Wrong, then right. But it's like an S or a C or some shit. I still don't know.
Well, I'm glad you got it right.
But it's okay.
Now.
It's okay.
All right, so we're gonna kind of go over some of the like public perceptions, but let's get into this.
Current events,
yes, and how that kind of ties together. So, what's the biggest lie you've ever caught someone in, and then how did you perceive them after?
Damn.
Biggest lie you've ever caught somebody
Biggest
in.
lie.
I don't know if it's the biggest lie, but like I was just telling Stasis earlier, I cannot stand, not that I go through people's phones, but like, let's say that person was in the shower and their phone happened to be like on
magically in your hand.
Somehow.
On the night, but no, like this is the worst part.
Someway.
It was on the nightstand, and like all of a sudden, like all the messages came up. But you know, like
it hit that Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, and then like, but you can see like before the iPhone changed like their privacy stuff, it would just show the whole message. And it was like, and it was something like, oh hey, I miss you too, like I called you earlier, like you didn't answer, call me back, blah 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 blah. And then actually I have a bigger one than this. It's very similar, but I was in the car and they answered the Bluetooth in the gas station, but because they were on their phone.
Was this was recent?
You know, this was like in the last few years, and it transferred to like the car, so I could literally hear the conversation. No, it happened. It only happened for a little bit, and
what part of the conversation did you hear?
The part where he said that he was no longer doing something and that he had no plans for that evening, but in fact he did. And then
you were in the car.
Because I was in the car. It literally, he answered it literally in the gas station, and then it literally picked it up in the car. I feel like that's so weird.
That's too much work.
And then this in the same car ride, like this person called and it said like, you know how it says their name, but like you give somebody a nickname like, oh, somebody baby or blah blah blah, you know.
It was a nickname.
Yeah,
what was the name?
It was a nickname person.
We need that.
It was.
What was the nickname?
It was like
Shawty Low.
It was like Nikki Baby or like Lizzie Baby. It was like or it was you know, it was a nickname in which it was for like
Nikki
somebody,
Baby.
and I was like, wow.
Nikki
like
Baby
I
called.
got both of these two things that happened, and then so when I asked him about it, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm like,
Nikki Baby called.
I was like, this person just called, and then as we were having this conversation, that person called again, and it came up on their Bluetooth again, and then I was like, oh, also, I heard the conversation that you had in the gas station. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, this person called, they said this about this, and he was like, didn't say anything, and I'm like,
yo, who the fuck is Nikki Baby?
But like,
that's why everybody in my phone gets first and last name. That's
exactly.
It.
I don't
Benjamin
do nicknames.
Buttons. There's no nicknames. You are not bae. You might get a little heart emoji. That way it's easy to take it away. But it's not like,
as soon as I gave you this heart emoji, I'll take that shit away too.
But it's still first name, last name. First name, last name.
See, this is how old I am. I didn't even know you could put emojis
under contact
on their name. Like, I've seen people do it now. I'm like, why did you do that? Is your shit jailbroken?
No,
I know, but I'm just saying, like, but I've never had the urge to go, ooh, smiley face, sad face.
I'll just put a little heart there,
throw up
just
face.
in case, like,
if
it rings around someone, especially with the guys at work. If my phone rings around them, just because like we're all so close, it could be a customer, it could be anybody, so they'll answer it. But okay, leave that one alone. You can answer whatever else you want.
Yeah,
leave that one alone.
No, like if it's ever like, yo, a throw up, I love throw up emoji.
Throw up emojis.
You never seen a throw up?
I have, but I never use it.
But I'm saying, well, if a motherfucker ever got that one,
do you have any throw up emojis?
People?
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. I would think that would be what you use it for, like the people the people you never want to answer.
No,
they just get deleted. Oh, that too.
Just put a throw up emoji. One.
I could now. I don't have anybody now.
That's what you use that throw up emoji for.
Anyways, the whole ending to that conversation was,
oh my bad. Shit, we are.
Why do people get so mad when
we did not tell our
oh, that too. Well, yeah. Anyways,
you drunk?
No.
Let's get
that was
it.
Right quick. That was it. That was my lie. I caught them in the lie. Well, they got upset.
Let's start from this morning. Did you have water?
No.
Did you have liquor?
I did have water. I had 2 waters. Nothing else.
Okay. So
anyways,
you caught them in this lie.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you perceive them after the lie?
They're a dumb liar.
Did you talk to this person?
Yes, we did. We talked. it was.
Yeah, don't call her again.
It's just Nikki, no. We were in the car. We had to be in a car, like, and have the conversation. We were quiet for like 10 minutes, so it was like we're just ignoring the 2 elephants that are sitting in the car with us.
Where's
you know,
Nikki Baby,
and the conversation he had with his friend, and I'm like, so.
Nikki Baby.
Just saying, but and then like I went into this big old tangent, but. We just got into an argument. He tried to like deny it or say it was something else, but it was like, I don't know. Like I said, he just kind of turned the thing around on me, and it was just, I don't know. If you're gonna lie, if you're gonna lie,
he hit you with, why are you listening?
Yes. I'm in the car.
I have no choice.
It's kind of hard to block myself from.
There's a difference when you catch somebody in a lie and they immediately say, "Yes, you caught me in it." But when I catch you in a lie and then you either get upset or the manipulation thing, it's like, you did the bad. Yeah. Shouldn't ask. Never mind. And then you feel like a dumbass for even bringing it up. Which, I mean, that's good manipulation right there. But yeah, that was mine.
Right. Chase, what's the biggest lie you caught someone in, and how did you perceive them after?
Man, I don't think I've ever caught anybody in a lie.
You've never. Everyone's been so truthful and told you the truth.
No, I don't think they've been truthful, but I don't think I've ever been. I've never confronted anybody like, I know you fucking lying. You know what I'm saying?
I can't see chasing that either. But
I'm like the person where I peep it. Like there's a meme that says, "This the face when I peep shit and I move different." I'm that person.
But you still caught it. Like regardless of if you confronted them about it. What was the lie that you peeped it, and obviously you left because that your perception of them changed. Yeah. Like, so what would that have been? Give us an example of that.
Let's see. No, I had one where I don't know if I've told that story, but it was one where my ex, who I remained friends with, she had an offer to move to live with her ex-boyfriend.
Oh yeah, in Arizona.
And I was just like, yeah, go ahead. Why the fuck would you? And then she did, but it's like it's
now she gone.
No, she asked me if she should move, and we had stopped talking for like a month. And in my mind, I did a whole math problem in my head. I'm like, all right, yo, how can we just broke up, and let's say you start talking to your ex again, how can y'all automatically like move in? You know what I'm saying? And move to a whole nother state. You get my point? In that time. So I was like, yeah, I think that'll be a good change for you. And then she moved for like a week, but she moved back or something. I think it didn't work out. But the whole point of the matter is,
she probably lied.
In other words, to me, I would say that means that y'all were in contact throughout the relationship.
How do you just get an offer to like? You just get broken up with, and then your boyfriend just hits you up, ex-boyfriend. Hey, you want to come live here?
It just doesn't make sense. You get my point? Yeah. So that was one.
Yeah.
Liars.
Yeah.
You gotta love them. You gotta love liars. They make life interesting.
Yeah, and you gotta ignore them. Like once you get to an age, and I think like once you get older, once you catch somebody in a lie, it's like, and then you just continue on with your life. I remember when I was younger, like I would catch somebody in a lie, and I'm like, ooh, I can't wait till they say this, because I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna show, and I got the proof lined up on the counter, and I'm ready to like.
You better showcase your
I made a PowerPoint presentation.
Right. And it's about to go down. And then like, I end up getting finessed somehow into believing that obviously I'm crazy.
Number one facts.
Women are gullible. We always get, you're crazy.
Yeah. And
these
then we're
panties are obviously your panties. You bought these yesterday.
Too small.
Remember? And
then I get finessed. But now I don't even give you the opportunity to try to finesse me. I don't even give you the opportunity to explain, especially when I know for a fact. I don't give you the opportunity to really like. I give you opportunity to explain yourself for a little bit, but I'm not gonna give you opportunity to think.
Do you wait until you have so much information that it's irrefutable?
Right, because I'm not gonna go off of like women. We tend to have intuitions and things like that. You can't go off of just that. Something's gonna pop up if you're doing something foul to where you need to lie. It's gonna come up. Period. Like
because sometimes your intuition wrong as fuck. But I'm not saying all the time.
Right, but it happens. I thought mine was broken for like 30 years up until recently. Damn. For some strange reason the shit shines bright like a diamond, and now I got like a goddamn diamond.
You sound like a football coach.
My throat is
shining bright like a diamond. Get that diamond.
My voice is still recovering.
Make it true.
Blue X.
He's a liar.
It's like she having a nigga.
That ain't no diamond shining.
Hey, she better not get into no shit with no nigga right now. They call the cops on her. She going to jail. I didn't hit him. I didn't even hit him.
I didn't hit him that hard.
Yeah.
I fucking hate you.
ma'am.
Let it a little bit.
Ma'am, can you
My
please?
voice is okay. So just
Ma'am, calm
my
down.
voice has been gone for the past few days up until like
Ma'am, calm
Friday, but it's still a little raspy.
Ma'am, please calm down.
Fucking hate y'all.
Ma'am, please.
Okay.
Can you please go? Can you please? We don't want you to say I'm rude with him, ma'am. Can you please go outside with the other officer?
Baby, I love you. I didn't mean it.
Why the fuck this my house? Why I gotta go outside? Ma'am. Ma'am.
Shut up.
Please go outside.
All I'm thinking about is cops right now.
Can you please put your hands behind your back?
Jeez Louise.
Am I getting? No, we're not arresting you. That's what they say. Can you please put your hands behind your back, please? Am I getting arrested? Ma'am, no. We just need you to calm down.
I fucking hate y'all.
Wait, Stacey,
We want you to
tell us a
we want you to sit in
story,
the back of
an
the police
example
car.
of a time that this lie happened
But
to you
but
and you were
calmly.
able to shine bright like a diamond.
Calmly though. Use your not beating a man's ass
Why don't
voice.
you have sound effects, Chase? This is like the episode. This is like where Maury
It did
is
sound
like
like that. I hate y'all. Man.
Shit.
Okay, I'm not gonna even go the avenue of like relationships. I'll go with my son, for instance. Like just the
Don't use him.
why he lies
because he's a mastermind.
he's a kid. Okay, okay.
No. Go ahead.
No, so it's just like simple things with him. I'll give this example. He's gonna be pissed. JC he wants to be vegan, hates eating some vegetables. Like he doesn't like all the vegetables, so I try to like make sure he gets all his vegetables.
Please say what age he is trying to be vegan.
JC's 11.
All right, go ahead. Continue.
This was probably like a year ago.
So the nigga 10 years old trying to be vegan.
He hates asparagus, but he sometimes asks me to make it because he gets tired of all the other vegetables. And so when it was like maybe 3 weeks, I was like, dang, you've been eating all your asparagus. You're doing such a great job. And then like come to find out, he was flushing it down the toilet.
Stuffing the toilet up.
is like a.
That's you. He waiting for a plumber bill.
But it's asparagus, so it's like
It's hard.
no, it's cooked asparagus, so it's not like you know what I mean, like. But it's still like. So I'm like, hey JC,
It's expensive.
where's the asparagus? He's like, oh, I ate it all, and I was like, oh yeah. Yeah, it was still in the toilet. I took a picture of it.
Oh, it couldn't
and
flush
so
all the way.
it flushed. I flushed it. It flushed, but I was pissed. And so he's like, yeah, no. And I was like, so you didn't put any asparagus in the toilet? And he's like, no, like straight up. And I was like, so if I show you a picture with asparagus in your toilet, who put it down there? And he was just like,
y'all rich. He got his own toilet.
shut up. So I showed him the picture, and he's just like, I don't know.
Why you just say I should?
Don't do it again. Like 3 days later, he's in the bathroom with his dinner plate. I said, JC, you better not be flushing your vegetables down. He's been flushing his vegetables down the toilet last year. But that was me pretty much catching him in a lie.
That's sad. See, I had more faith in JC. I think he could.
Here's the thing.
Don't have faith in children like that. This is where they make mistakes, like flushing.
JC, I don't know if you're gonna get to listen to this episode until you're older, but please be a better liar, dude. He too smart. He too smart to be able to lie so bad. I mean, I feel like he could have said, "Look, Mom, you know, I had to use the restroom,"
and it just came out as a whole, in whole asparagus.
And I've been practicing eating my asparagus whole. If he want to finesse,
no. JC's really smart, but I keep having to remind, like he still does kid dumb shit, and I'm like, but why? So yep, that's my example. I could give 157,000 examples.
Give us one of an actual adult.
Okay, I'll give this last one because I'd already told Chase I was gonna tell him this story, so I might as well just tell the world because I don't give a fuck.
Facts.
I was just recently in a relationship for a few months, and push comes to shove, he goes to this wedding one weekend. This was Labor Day weekend. Goes to a wedding. I didn't attend the wedding just because it was like our schedules didn't, whatever. I ended up not going to the wedding, and so he comes to my house after the wedding. We spend all Labor Day together, but something's not right. I don't know what it is. He sleep. I just want to punch him. I didn't really know what was going on. I was trying to figure out.
He was asleep.
Let's go deeper. What was the feeling that you had? Something wasn't right. Was it a feeling in your gut? Your head?
It was like it was an intuition, and I kept trying to figure it out, and I was kind of like, well, maybe it's because he had this or did this.
So it wasn't a spidey sense. It was a lady sense.
Yeah. It might have
happens though. Let me tell you.
And to be fair, like this never happens to me. Like my intuition's broken because usually like people cheat on me. Like I never figure it out. And so he goes to this wedding, and I was just like, oh, something's not right. So one of my friends went to the wedding as well, and so I checked on her daughter because she has some things going on with her daughter, and I talked to her anyways, and so she was just like, yeah, I went to this wedding, met this guy, and I don't know, we've been texting this. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, my boyfriend went to that wedding too. And I had said his name, and she was like, oh, that's who I've been texting.
Hold on.
And so I said,
he's stupid.
What?
They had to have other people at the wedding.
No, but like that's how you know it's like meant to just.
Yeah.
I was meant to find this. And so she's like reading me over the text messages. So I'm listening. I'm like, oh, okay, well let me go ahead and confront him, and I'll talk to you. We're gonna have dinner on Saturday. Okay.
Yeah, it ain't her fault.
No, absolutely not. So she texts him, and she's like, I know you know Stacy. That's my girl. Blah blah blah.
Why she
whatever?
With her?
Well, she texted him this the next day. I actually read the text messages when we got to dinner, and so I called him and I was like, hey, call me when you're done, because he was working. He said, okay. So he called me. I'm assuming that he still had clients, because when I said, hey, do you know Jackie? And he's like,
Jackie Chan.
And he's like, no. And I said, well, I know for a fact you were texting her, so I'm gonna just go ahead and bow out. And he's just like, all right, hangs up. Calls me back like 10 minutes later, and he's like, I really need to talk to you. I just
10 minutes was
losing it. Okay, so he's texting, calling. Comes out. I go outside because he's outside. I make sure to pack up all the stuff that he had in my house. Set in the car, and he's just like, if you really love me, like you said, I was like, oh, nigga, I fell for that one already. So next one, he's like, well, she was pressing me for my number, and this. I was like, nah, because in the text messages you were like, oh, I wish I would have walked you to your car. This. Like you were asking about her daughter.
He was just being a gentleman.
But you presented yourself as single when you weren't, and had I not known her, you would have just been still talking to her. You were at my house all day that Sunday, and that Monday, you were texting her while you were there. I saw the text messages.
She looked at the times on his ass.
Yeah, and so I never talked to him since then. I hadn't talked to him since then. He sent me text.
That's crazy.
Caught him in a lie. How did I perceive him after this lie?
All he wanted to do was walk her to her car and be a gentleman.
No, that's not all. That was in those text messages.
My number just fell out of my fingers into her phone, and then I was texting her. She forced me.
When in reality, he was going after her.
He was in a wedding trance.
I don't give a fuck.
Then bring your girlfriend to your wedding trance.
I don't give a fuck. But yeah, so perceived you're a liar, and like it was more so I was probably more upset with me for trusting him so soon, because I've known him for a long time. But you live and you learn.
Oh no, you said we didn't get to how you perceived him after.
I perceived him as a liar, and a manipulator, because he definitely tried to manipulate me. If I were weak-minded or bad like Stacy 10 years ago, I probably would have sat there and listened, but I didn't have the patience to sit and listen.
Slash his tires or some shit 10 years ago.
Nah.
Okay.
But
that's the beauty of having these liars or these things happen, because then when things like this happen, instead of listening,
the older you get.
Yeah, seriously.
You get numb to like, all right, well, that's going to be the end of it.
Yep.
I think like with mine, it was, I think it's kind of a double standard in a few ways. Because it is a double standard. Oh, I get to do this. So when I told people what I told y'all, look, she's just a woman, and she's just trying to see how much you still care. I'm like,
who said that?
A number of women. Because they're like, she wanted you to tell her not to go.
Our lives are not rom-coms. That happens on TV only. You can't test somebody and then expect for them to want you to pass the test.
And I'm gonna go here and do this.
Chase me to Arizona, Chase, please.
In the taxi on my way there, and just profess your love.
What was even worse, she called me while she was there.
Cause she,
I'm here now.
Just making
but
sure
it's nothing going on. I'm actually sleeping on the couch. I'm like, yo, I think I was in Jersey. I'm like, look, man, I don't want to talk about this at all. Have fun, be safe. You know what I'm saying? I hope everything works out.
That's weird. That's weird to me.
Yeah.
That's so weird. Because I would never like, oh, I'm gonna go and move with this other man to make like, that's extreme. Like, to make somebody, I get if you want to make somebody jealous, okay, that happens, but like, that is extreme. I'm gonna move to a whole other state. She was also
young. I'll give her that. Like, she was younger than me or whatever, but
it still seems crazy.
I mean, no, it seems crazy, but hey, man, wish her the best. I think everything's going good with her now.
Yeah, I'm sure she's fine. Why do liars get mad when you catch them in a lie?
I'm gonna go with they only prepared like for. So a lot of times I think liars. I'm not gonna say they believe their own lie. They believe their capacity to be believable.
Yes, and they get like super offended when you didn't believe.
So like, because they went through enough in their head to believe it. You know, for like the lie detector test, they believe that they believe it enough to pass.
Right.
And when they don't pass, it's like, shit, I'm going to jail now, because like now I don't have an alternate. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell the truth.
Right.
That's too much work.
Or in the relationship way, it's like, I guess maybe you're not afraid you're going to go to jail, but I just feel like it has to go back to ego. Because I remember, like, if you accuse somebody of lying and they actually are lying, like, the ability and, I don't know, that it takes to just make it seem like they're not lying is quite impressive. Because I've been, like, fooled by that so many times. And I don't know, it's just, I think it's baffling how they can get so upset when they're the ones who are wrong.
Baffling. Level 2 work.
Yeah. Level 2. How many levels are there?
I think they got like 6.
Oh.
Who's they? I thought these were your levels.
Yeah, but still. My levels are their levels.
Who is there?
Like, it is very baffling that men tend to get upset.
I'm trying to figure out who there is.
Caught in a lie.
Who they are?
Yeah.
Well, everybody.
Who came up with these levels?
Oh, like it started with me.
Nobody.
Okay, put it like this. I'll make it easy. What's a level 1 word? Give me a word you think of level 1.
It.
Exactly.
So baffling should be a level 3 then, just saying.
Yeah. So what's level 2?
Confused.
Okay. Hold on. What's level 4?
I was very perplexed.
I think that might be level 5.
Oh no, that's like level 4. It's like and then confused,
the other thing about
and then
it
baffled, and then perplexed.
Then the thing about it is just like, it's not so much the number of syllables. It's like, how often do you hear the word?
Okay, but this scale is a chase scale.
It is, but y'all clearly already on it.
Oh, thanks, Chase.
Okay.
What?
Stacey, why do sorry, I say men, but that's only because that's the only examples I have. Why do people get mad when they lie? When you catch them in a lie?
You don't have no examples of women lying? Really?
Because we are friends.
I'm trying to think of
family.
one.
Family does lie.
I've had coworkers that have said things about me, and I've literally, like, somebody's called immediately after they said it to tell me they said it, and then they come to your job or they come wherever and they're like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. But I don't know if that's a lie.
No, they didn't lie.
As it's like a, like, well, I don't know if it's a lie. It's more of like a, oh yeah, you're great, you're this, you're that, and then
more of like a backstabbing kind of like thing.
But I feel like women, like, if I'm gonna have somebody tell me something, a lot of women will just tell me to my face. I don't know. I've never had. I don't know.
I think women will tell. Well, yeah, women tell stuff to their face more. Guys, I think.
But there's like an ego thing. Like they don't want to be wrong, or they don't want to have to make a decision yet, so they try to do this lie to where it's like, let me see if I can get away with it.
Typically, there's always like two sides. Like there's two sides they're trying to play, which is the reason
friends? Why. I feel like even male on male friendships and female to female friendships, I feel like a lot of times you just let the person fuck up. But you know how they're fucking up. But you won't. A lot of guys won't tell their homos they fucking like, oh yeah, no, you know how, that's just how he doing that, he doing
that's
that.
That's guys, because I would definitely, if Jessica was doing some stupid shit, I'd be like, hey, God, that's stupid shit. I did have a friend though,
but that's why I don't have a lot of friends.
Yeah,
I tell them.
But I did have somebody that that I don't know. They didn't lie to me. They lied on me to another one of my friends. Is that the same?
I remember.
Yeah, when
you told me this. I don't think you
Yeah,
told
I've
me.
had that too.
Yeah, where it was like this one friend worked at the same job as one of my other really, really, really close friends, and this person wanted to take vacation and said that me and her, we were going to Miami on vacation, and she needed this time off, and it wasn't true. And like it was just like other things, like me and Stacey are gonna go do this. Me and Stacey are gonna go do
so
that.
she was just going, but she wanted to put you on it too.
She was just saying that she was going with me. I don't know why. It was weird. It was very weird. But she would do stuff like that all the time and tell people we were doing stuff together when we weren't.
She probably had a shrine to Stacey.
That's crazy, right?
I have a shrine of Stacey.
A shrine of me that I gave to you.
Okay.
I do.
So now it's getting weird.
That one too.
Now it's getting weird. Now it's getting weird.
It's all of Stacey's pictures like this. I just happen to be in there.
See, this is why you gotta ask people questions.
Also, one of my other friends, I gave her this painting that I did it painting with a twist, and I tried to like make it my skin color with my hair, and she has it. And so her dad came to hang the picture and was like, "Did Stacey make a picture of herself for you?"
Y'all out here.
But was it a good picture?
I thought it was cute.
Okay, then there you go.
You see what I'm saying?
No matter who it is, it's a good picture.
But yeah, so all right, well, we're gonna get into a couple of current events and things that have been happening this week, and then talk about the public perception of said things. So let's start out with this Kylie Jenner, Travis Scott, and Tyga thing.
Dang.
What do y'all know about that?
All I know is
Supposedly they broke up.
come on with the supposedly.
Supposedly there's
Level 2 word.
there is the speculation that these two are no longer together.
There we go.
That sounds like a news
That's
anchor.
speculation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So apparently,
No, it is under speculation that they
There we
are no
go.
longer
Allegedly.
together.
right? Yeah, and allegedly,
Are we just gonna see how many big words? Chase, you need to go and just like zap each big word we say on this whole thing so people
and
can.
just put it out there like.
Yes. So they
Y'all
know.
remember Pee Wee Herman's Funhouse when they had a word of the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
pretty much,
But yeah, so-
they broke up. She was seen supposedly.
No, they got a whole picture.
Where she was at the studio with Tyga.
Wasn't at the studio. I think she was at an event and she was sitting next
And
to
she
him.
was
or something.
she was dropping somebody off there or meeting a friend there, and he happened to be there, but it was at like 2 a.m.
Right. And
It's
so
really
like
late.
so we're gonna ask is it okay, how soon should you be in one relationship right after that's not what I wanted to ask.
Oh well, yeah, I gotta go there now.
No, that's not what I wanted to ask. I'm getting myself mixed up. Okay, so should you be seen with your ex after like just getting out of a new relationship? Like, how do you think that that's perceived by people?
So I think it depends on a few things. I think it depends on what y'all. I mean, if you're completely done with them,
Let's dumb this down. Stacey had a boyfriend for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And she tells us we break up, we're no longer together, blah 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 blah. And then that same weekend we see snaps of Stacey at a club, and we see her other ex boo in the background.
Which I do shit like that, so that's very
ex-
possible.
Yes, so so is that acceptable?
I'm not saying that it's not
be
acceptable. I'm just saying it depends on the terms of the ending of the latest relationship.
So your now ex, it depends on how that
Played out and y'all relationship now. Like, are y'all completely done? Do y'all have understanding? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you may break up and y'all on good terms, or y'all like they could be taking a break, right? Kylie and they could be taking a break, and nobody really knows that they talked about it. Like they knew that she was gonna be out there like that or whatever, because they have a child together. They got all this stuff going, so it's highly possible that he knew what she was gonna be or not.
because allegedly
Come on.
Travis Scott was with some girl that he had been like on and off with for years. There were like ties to them being together, and so like if that were the case, if that were the reasoning behind them no longer being together now, then it would make sense that she would be like, oh, okay,
I'm about to one up you. I'm gonna go to the.
It would make sense, especially with how young they are.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
They do a lot.
I don't know. I think if I were gonna do that, I wouldn't want people to know.
Well, luckily, no one's following us around with and you've seen. Well, that happens sometimes, but it's very rare, because it's like.
I feel like you left that person for a reason, and I feel like maybe sometimes when you break up, and yes, maybe even if it was amicable and if it was amicable and it's good, you still sometimes get into that place where you're like, well, let me go see how this was, maybe whatever, and you go back there, and I don't know, I don't necessarily think that's healthy. But do you think
because it's been some time since her and Tyga were together, do you think that like over time, like you guys could possibly healed and like you've grown as a person?
You would never know because you're so freshly out of the relationship that you're in. I feel like I feel like,
but I mean,
even if it was a good idea, and even if they were already meant to be, or whoever was meant to be, I feel like there still needs to be that period of time. And like I said, this is just speculation. We don't even know what they were doing. She could have literally just been dropping off at a party, or maybe that guy happened to be at the same club Stacey was at. But I just think, in my opinion, that you have to fully shut one door before you open another one, just because you don't, it's the feelings, the emotions, like it's just gonna get conscried.
It sounds like she has at least 2 open doors in this case.
She's rich. She probably got like 10 open doors.
No. She got a whole museum of doors if she wanted them, because she's a billionaire. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I understand all that, but she probably just wanted like the good time that was familiar, maybe, or whatever. Or you don't know what terms that they ended under, her and Tyga or whatever. So it's like, is she feeling some type of anguish from either relationship? I don't know. Level 5. So it's like
no, anguish is like level 3. Level
you think
4.
It's a 3?
Anguish. Level 5 should be all the words that come before it and the word.
What? Give me
all the context. Like you need the meat, and then you need like the rest of the words.
The word is the seasoning.
Yeah, you need like
you need a meaty sentence.
Yes,
with the seasoning of the word.
Oh, that might be level 6.
Yeah, 5. That's like 5 and 6. So I would say anguish is 4. Anyways, proceed.
Okay, so it could be meat and seasoning like level 5, but then like meat and seasoning level 6 is like at a good restaurant.
Right.
Okay. Like, a steakhouse.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, we there. All right.
We all understand these levels now. Great.
Okay. Guys. But so I mean, I don't see anything wrong with her hanging out with her ex. I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, if they ended on good terms, maybe they were friends, up until this point. We don't really know. It's not like we could. We don't know their lives.
I don't see anything wrong with what anybody does if they're happy when they do it.
Right.
And they're doing it under the correct pretenses of that.
But I think the issue here is like how it's perceived.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate.
And this article is. Sorry, I'm reading this article,
That's
but
fine.
This is so they were seen for a second time in the same club together. Not together like holding hands, but just he's there, she's there at the same place.
I mean, I'm sure that's happened many a times over.
Yeah.
But now it's just they're able to write an article about it due to the fact that now they have a reason for it to make a scene.
Right. So when it comes to like Miley Cyrus and her breakup, because she broke up with her fine ass husband. Fine ass husband. Oh, and she's been seen since then, within the past couple months, with some chick and then another guy. And for some strange reason, she's being slut shamed.
Maybe they was just going to get some pizza.
Let me read her tweet though, because I felt like her tweet kind of like explained like exactly what.
Should she be slut shamed for moving on so quickly?
I mean, how long has she been divorced?
Ooh, I
don't even think they're divorced yet.
No, they're not divorced yet. They separated, and then after we don't know, because after they announced the separation, like a week later, she was seen with some girl, like, and they were like in a relationship. So we don't really know how long they've been split up. We just know once she said they were split up, and then
Yeah, and you think that the tabloids know everything as soon as it happened? No.
Yeah,
and that's up to them.
And the speculation she meant, which was this part, she just put that like men, especially successful ones, are rarely slut shamed. They move on from one beautiful young woman to the next, most times without consequences. They are usually referred to as legends, heartthrobs, G, ladies' man, etc., where women are called sluts and whores. And then she goes on to say, like, she's just trying to thrive in a man's world. If we can't beat him, join him. If our president can grab him by the pussy, can I just have a kiss and an acai bowl?
Wow.
But, like, she just went on, like, you know, because the public is so invested, I guess, in that relationship that it's like everybody's like, oh, poor him. And then now, you know, like, we don't know what happened. But then now everybody's like, oh, my God, look at her. She was seen making out with a girl. And now she's seen dating this guy.
And it's more so like people feel like women should take more time after a breakup than men, because men, they could move on quickly and it's like no one kind of bats an eye. But
but that's how we do. That's how we get
guys to move on quickly too.
But I'm telling you, that's how we get men that are like toxic. Because if you pay attention, like women, when something happens and they break up, women take about 6 months or whatever to like really get over that breakup, and like during that time they're like, let's work this out, take me back, blah 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 blah. And then after that time period goes by, then you're like, oh, I'm good now. But then men, they realize at the end of that long period of time, not all men, but like in my experience or what I've heard from people, they, after 6 months, they're like, something's missing. I think I miss Stacy now. Stacy, take me back, blah, blah, blah.
Guys are more disjointed from their feelings.
Because they're being pushed to be disjointed, or...
Disjointed?
Although in the context that she used, I liked it.
There we go. 5 or 4. But yeah, I think they are more disjointed, so we're not...
That's a good one, Chase. I just realized that you guys are talking. Okay, breaking out them words today.
But no, I think we are. I mean, and I don't even think it's not really our fault. It's just like that's just how we're made,
or how you're made, or how you're pushed to be made. Because didn't you just say like men are also pushed to kind of...
You're expected to move a certain way.
What I'm saying, it's two,
you know, because if men
things.
sit at home and cry over the girlfriend they just broke up with, their homeboy, their whatever, like, oh, let's go out, let's party, blah blah, we don't care about her, blah blah. Whereas women are like, oh, come over and let's cry about it and let's, you know, talk about it. Maybe he'll take you back. But men are like, no, fuck that hoe.
Or what they say, women are emotional creatures, right? So the guy would have remained non-emotional if you wouldn't have been in that state, right? If you wouldn't run into that problem. Not all guys, we're generalizing, but it's like if you have that, and then he does need to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? He does need to get out. Women's way of getting out of it is to cry about it and maybe get over it. But y'all might linger on that shit still forever because y'all emotional. Guys, you still have to get out and do guy stuff, which is a lot of times it's hard to do being that person emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Which is the same thing for women. I think it would be hard for you guys to be emotional.
I think that you just feel the void differently.
Yeah.
Is what it is. Like, because when you guys break up, it's like, okay, let's go out, let's do this, let's fuck her, let's be busy, as opposed to like we're able to sit in our emotions and kind of like walk through it and talk through it with ourselves or with our friends. But because y'all don't have that, or you would you could be perceived a certain way for doing that, you kind of fill that void with doing other things. Right. So I don't think that the emotion is women are just more emotional. I think that like we're more accepting of our emotions and we can go through them, as opposed to men just filling that void with something else and doing something else, falling into other vaginas and so on and so forth.
Falling into...
Well, yeah, man. So I agree, but I'll add, it's like the processing of emotions. In other words, that's what I'm saying. Women are more connected, like you said, connected to their emotion. Guys don't necessarily always know, nor have the capacity to be wanting to like figure that out.
And it's hard to sit in those. And it's hard to sit in those emotions. So it's like, and we're able to do it and go through that. But, and I'm not saying that men can't do it or don't do it, because there's some that are. Right. But like sitting in those emotions, it's hard as fuck. Like to have to like come to grips with like, okay, what did I do wrong? What did they do wrong? Yeah. What can I, like, you have to sit down and go through those emotions.
Things I think we can do, but see, okay, the differences I'm talking about is like, okay, we know Stacy likes to cry. She'll watch a movie.
That's not true. I like to cry at sad movies, but not like in my real life.
Okay, I'm not saying you want to cry in your real life. What I'm saying is she will watch a movie with the intention of crying. Right or wrong?
Sometimes it's nice to cry.
Yeah.
What? See, no man will want to do that.
But that has nothing to do with going through the emotions of a breakup.
But that's referring to me saying that women are more
I don't know if
comfortable.
men want to do that. Maybe you're right. I don't necessarily think it's right. It's like correct though, or how it should be done. Because, for example, there was a relationship that I was in, and we broke up. I moved out. We separated. And like I said, for the first 6 months, I literally, and I don't want to say I sat in my emotions the whole time, but like I processed. Like I went through all the motions. And even when he would get to a point where maybe he was considering having an emotion about what was going on, it would be like yanked back by the whole freedom or this, or I'm gonna go do this and blah blah, to ignore that. He
kept busy to not deal with it
until at one point he decided like, oh, I should probably deal with this. And then once he did, it was too late, because I had already spent the first 6 months dealing with it. And he decided he wanted to take 6 months plus to be like, oh, I should probably deal with this. So I mean,
yeah, no, I agree.
Is it correct? Is it right? Nah, I don't know about that either. I just think that if men process things a little bit more like women, maybe, we'd have some more,
or if it was equal, because we should probably spend a lot of that time with like saying fuck it, especially if it was something that we didn't do. I think men, like, even if they did fuck up, it's like, fuck it, let me go do this, as opposed to like, even if it was something like it was something that was 100% like not our fault, we still kind of can sit in those emotions, as opposed to like being like, he did this, fuck it, and then just moving on with our lives. And I think that's what Miley Cyrus did. Right. She was like, hey, fuck it. Now she's like dating and doing all this other stuff, and now people are trying to make her feel a way about it, when men have done it for a long time.
And I think, and she said something like that in there. She's like, I spent my 20s and 30s being in these long-term relationships, and she was like, even even before, like when she had little breaks, she was like, I just dated her, I did this, and now people are all going crazy because, hey, I don't have anybody, I'm gonna date, so get used to seeing me out here dating, like I'm supposed to do.
And that's definitely something that she's having to explain that a normal person does not.
Right.
So that's, you gotta take that into account.
Yeah, because sure. I definitely don't have to explain.
Right.
We don't have to.
Nobody do.
What the fuck we're doing?
Yeah. We don't explain, but I guess in the age of social media, if you're posting and doing all this stuff and taking stuff down, maybe you don't have to, but people are still like, damn, Stacey just broke up with him. Because we talked about this before. We talked about like seeing a couple all happy, and then they fight on social media, and then this happens, that, and then they break up, and then we're like, what the fuck happened with y'all? Right. Like, we don't, of course, we're not going to be like, well, where your man at? Like, no, we're not going to do that. But you definitely know we still like, ooh, what's going on here? What's, and if people feel like they have to explain, I've seen posts of people on social media where they're like, oh, well, we know we're no longer together, and this feeling like they have to, cares? But most people don't.
And I don't think you should.
I don't think so either. I think it's your business.
I don't think you should. Yeah. If you choose to post, choose to post like that relationship stuff, understand they got somebody that's bored that's gonna be looking at it. Mm-hmm. And then when that status changes, if it does change, God forbid, then you're gonna have motherfuckers all in your business because you allowed them in.
Right. Okay. So another thing that unfolded here within the past few days, we're going to talk about. Okay, so I'm sure unless you've just lived under a rock, there was a Dallas police officer by the name of Amber Gardner. Yeah. Look at me, I remember it. And she walked into this man's house, shot him, and she assumed that she was in her own apartment and that someone had broken into her apartment. And so there's just been a lot of talk in media going on around, like, was it intentional? Was it, really, was it really an accident? Right. So what are your thoughts on just the initial charged as situation? If it's an accident,
or charged as if she really went and gunned somebody down?
So what are you on the initial situation? What are you guys' thoughts on that?
So just on the original situation, I think it's sad, number one, because absolutely, when they describe when they already described the guy as a good guy, and I'm not even from a racial standpoint at all, but he was described as a good guy, and he was in his house, like wearing a t-shirt and some shorts, eating a bowl of ice cream, like everybody did that, right? You know what I'm saying? And watching television, and then somebody just comes in, an officer no less, and kills him in a very, I would say, a vulnerable state, a state where he cannot defend himself. So I think that's definitely horrible. And on top of that, just no matter what she says, and she could be telling the truth, she could be lying, whatever. I just know in my life, I've lived in apartments before, I've lived in dorm rooms before, you know what I'm saying, and all these places have, a number of buildings and rooms or whatever, right? And I've never I may have went to the wrong door or something like that, right? But I've never walked in,
right. You would have noticed it wasn't your place. The first thing you wouldn't notice would be oh, this person is in my place. When you walk in, your shit. Yeah. You know it's yours. You know you're the smell of your house. You know you're in someone else's home simply by the way it smells. When you walk in, you know this shit isn't your shit. He was sitting on the couch. So you walk all the way to the couch.
The whole kitchen. They
that wasn't yours. That wasn't yours.
The kitchen looked like it had a lot of distinguishable items there. Right. Come on, man. If she's telling the truth, they need to really investigate the people that they add to the police department more.
No, it is true, and they need to investigate everybody they add to the police. Yeah. I mean, I think it's horrendous what happened. To just, like Chase said, to be at home, you're watching TV and you're I'm about to go to bed, and a minute later finish this ice cream, and then somebody walks in and literally kills you. It's not like you hear it often on the news ever. If you've ever heard it, officer walks into apartment that thinks it's hers, shoots somebody and they die. I don't know how out of it, how whatever you need to be to literally walk into an apartment and then just shoot somebody, and then you're a cop.
That's not that's not your first line of defense. The first thing isn't going to be grab your gun. It's usually grab your taser.
And there's all these things they tell you to do when you're invading a home, when there's somebody in there, how you corner walls, how you hold your gun, all this stuff. And it was really sad watching the whole thing, and then watching her on there, because it's dang, she kind of sounds like she really feels like she's a victim-ish of whatever. I don't even know what she could be a victim of, but it's she's crying, sitting there I was so scared. It's bitch, you were scared of what? you were in
deadly bowl of ice cream.
Yeah. Hold on. Even if dude was in your spot
eating ice cream,
and he found the bowl, the fork, and the bluebell, he found all those three. He's in a t-shirt and some shorts, watching television in your house. How did you just go, even if he's in your place? Right. How did you just go to shoot?
That's the first thing.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, okay. And this is just speculating. Let's say he was in your house. Right. You just automatically shoot him.
No taser. Nothing else. Yeah. No, hey.
No gun. He has no gun. There's no knife. He's not wearing all black.
I mean, and we'll never know, because we obviously we're never there. But I still think that the whole, like I said, the whole situation is tragic, horrendous, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, no offense, this is why the law exists. The whole fact that there was a court thing over it, and it's should he be charged with murder? Should she be charged with murder? Well, yes. Now the degree of murder, okay, that could be debatable, but you did in fact murder somebody. Right. Even if people hit people while they're drunk and it was an accident, or you weren't looking and you hit somebody and they die, it's still manslaughter. You still slaughtered a man, so you still have to get penalized for that, regardless of how, when, intentions, all that stuff. Even if you're a cop, even if you're a mom, if I know that if I drive drunk and I hit somebody, a mom and a baby, I have to be prepared to deal with those consequences because I was driving drunk. It's I feel like it's the same thing.
So do you think that this case would have gotten more attention if either both parties were white, or if both parties were black, or if she were black and he were white? How do you think that would play out?
If it was a white woman and the cop who shot her was black, this story would be 15 times bigger, because it would be this huge big deal, I feel because, or any minority, if it happened to a white person, roles reverse, I feel there'd be all sorts outrage, like, oh my gosh, this Mexican cop or this black cop just gunned down this woman in her house, or this college student in your house. I feel like the media did a really good job at like making you feel sorry for both parties in this case, even though it's like she did kill somebody, like like just bloop, you're dead, like. And then listening to her testify about the whole, like, I didn't know what to do, my partner, like, you shot somebody, like, you're still scared even after you shot them, they're on the ground dying, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know the protocols of when you shoot somebody, like, in a house when you're a police officer and you're trying to make it safe. I don't know if you shoot them and then try to save them or how that works, but like I don't know.
I don't think it.
I feel like as soon as you realize that was in your house and you shot somebody, it is then your job to try to make sure that that person doesn't die.
Right.
And then the cops, like, also it's a bad situation because I feel like also her being out there waiting and then the cops like hugging her, it's I mean, I get they have to like hug their own or they have to whatever for their own, but it's like, man, you're hugging a murderer. She just shot somebody like by accident.
Yeah.
Should you be a cop?
So as far as the case, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch a lot of the footage. Like I know there were people that were tuned in because all over social media, it was everywhere. I didn't watch a lot of what was going on with her court case, but I saw a lot of the key points. When it came to like her testimony, crying. I just remember a lot of crying. It was a lot of crying. And then of course we saw the judge at the end, once she got her sentencing, hugging her, and the guy's brother hugging her, and then the guy's dad saying he wanted to be her friend. So I personally, I mean, I don't watch a lot of court cases, but I feel like this might be a first for all of this, unless you guys have seen something that I haven't.
So I've seen the parent like forgive the accused or the convicted.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And say that they're doing it for the fact, trying to basically move forward with their lives. So I've definitely seen that. It just seemed like it was I hope that's what, well, I'm not gonna say I hope. Hopefully for them, that's what it is, and I think that is what it is. But so I don't question anything that the family's doing because they're very close to it. So you never know what they're going through from a mental standpoint. So whatever they have to do to get over that's very understandable. I just thought that the only part that was questionable to me is the judge's reaction and
the bailiff like fixing her hair
and the bailiff. Yeah, like, it was just like some of the things was like, why do they do that for every person that comes through there? You know what I'm saying? Like, why,
right.
She's made to feel, it seemed like she was just very, very much so made to feel comfortable, and she was like in this whole like victim space, and it was like they almost kind of catered to that, like she also is a victim, and like that's kind of what I didn't like and
about
it's like,
it.
How?
Right, and that's what I didn't like about it, and I know when I heard certain things when when the case was going on before the jury came back with a verdict, the judge said that they could consider the hold your ground
I heard about
in
that.
the middle of this, so it was like they were really, really, really trying to make sure that they gave her a break. And even with the sentencing, it was something like she allowed them to consider something else, like that would give her a lighter sentence as well.
Something about the stand your ground, as in other words, the fact that she thought that she was in her house at that time, even though she wasn't, then it could be considered standing your ground just because she thought, but it's not really. That's
right. The fact that was given an option.
That's rough.
Rough. It was obvious what was going on, and even if she wouldn't have gotten time, it would have been crazy. And I think that 10 years.
I think they knew that she would have to
serve it, so they were trying to make it to where she would get the lightest sentence possible for the crime.
I feel like if y'all are just gonna give somebody like off, just say that's what you're doing, as opposed to like, I mean, I know you can't because it's the law, but it's like by saying all those other things, it really just like diminishes the actual like situation that's going on, and that's the cop I don't know how many hours she worked. I don't know what kind of training she's had, mental capacity, all that crap. Went in and shot somebody. And yeah, she, maybe it was a very convincing story. You felt like, oh my gosh, she was really sorry. But it's like a lot of people are really sorry for stuff, like, so, I mean, but if that's what it is and y'all just want to give her a shorter time because you felt bad because she's a white police officer who's a woman, then you should just say it instead of making it
right into something else, making it seem like it's something else, which, I mean, the country would be in an uproar if that happened. But they did everything that they could, and I think that she got a good deal. Like, for her to not take a plea deal, she still got a really good deal. She's young, so she'll be in her 30s by the short time she gets out. I'm sure she'll be paroled. Maybe
It's just, I think it's a bad situation all around for her. Most definitely, mostly for the family. Most definitely for him. For him, most definitely the worst thing that ever happened. And for the family, secondarily, most worst thing ever. Her last. And I think the police department, the justice system, all those things need to they need to take a look at things, and they always need to take a look at things.
They've been needing to take a look at things. They need to add
that to the list of things to look at, for sure.
Yeah. So how do y'all feel about there was a key witness in the case that was killed a few days after the verdict, and a lot of people are saying it's some sort of
conspiracy.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's a conspiracy or not, but I'll look at it like this. It seems like, if you saw the guy, they said he was a stand-up guy. Somebody wrote an article about how he's a stand-up guy. And
first guy.
Yeah. Well, no. This first guy and this guy. No, they said he was a stand-up guy for coming forward.
Gotcha. Okay.
So in other words, the stand-up guy for coming forward. If you had seen, the dude went up there in just regular clothes to testify, he was a regular guy. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's it just seemed like he was there for a reason, if that makes any sense. Because if it's not a conspiracy, right, then he was there for a reason to do this to testify, so that justice would be served to the best of the ability of justice. If not, then. But it's very eerie that he dies a few days later after he testifies.
It is.
And by him being a key witness, by him being so close to it.
Yeah.
And his face is clearly posted, it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was probably posted everywhere before, clearly before he died.
Yeah.
So the question is, when you have these cases and we are allowing media in the way that they are, what are you doing for these witnesses? Where are they properly protected after they testify?
Especially after, because it's he testified against an officer,
right?
So it's that's the only reason why it's so sketchy, because it's you could testify against whomever. Unless you're in some sort of gang affiliated type thing, that's different. Of course, you're gonna say that you want to be in witness protection, but how would you protect someone that's literally their word is against the actual police department that's supposed to be protecting them?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How do you do that?
Yeah. So definitely don't know. Don't know if it's connected or not. I would just say, I think that the best, my only question would be, when you have these high profile cases, and when I say high profile, I mean that it's going to provide a live viewership to any media outlet, because that's why they're showing it. They're not showing it because they want you to know the outcome of both John's murder or whatever. That's not it. They know that you want to know, and they know that it's going to make you turn to their station. Mm-hmm. So is it worth this young man's life? I don't know what he was into, and don't know if they're connected, but clearly he died after he testified. He didn't die before. Mm-hmm. So that's my.
Yep, because he could have died before.
He could have died before. He said he might be. There was a statement that was made. He thought that he would be the next person that dies from gun violence. They didn't say what type of gun violence. They didn't say if it was, from a police person to a civilian, or a civilian item. And I don't know what his life was like beforehand. Yeah. But he came forward.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, do you have any more input?
No, I don't. I'm good. I didn't read too much up on that part, so I didn't really know.
Yeah, it just happened, but
yeah. I mean, there's another item, just to like kind of flip it, which I think is very sad. I forgot the gentleman's name, but there was a police officer that was killed in Houston, probably last week.
Yes,
and Sayin, something or other.
And he was really handsome.
Apparently, Sayin was like one of the first guys to be able to wear his hijab on the Houston forces, so he was responsible for that. And he died due to, I think it was like a normal traffic stop. And he was, the headline said he was ambushed from behind and shot in the head. And I just think I think that's horrible. I mean, I mean, especially if it's just a regular traffic stop. You know, so in other words,
Sandeep Singh Diwali.
Yeah, so I mean, they said he was a really good dude, and it was like I remember driving to work like the next day, like on Friday or something like that, or Thursday, and it was Thursday, and you could see like what they normally tell you, like click your ticket and all that, those signs. They had his name up there saying off of watch, like like kind of like paying tribute to him.
Yeah, and they dedicated. It's October 2nd is his day.
Yeah. So I think that's horrible. I just think, like they say, put the guns down. I think that's very much so a topic. And put the guns down for civilians and for police officers properly be trained.
Yeah.
So that kind of takes care of both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, guys, that's all we have for today.
Okay.
Dang.
Nobody has a philosophical way to say goodbye
like that.
That could be on our level.
We need that. We gotta start having like final thoughts. And I remember Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer used to have a final thought.
Charlemagne does it.
Charlemagne. I like Charlemagne, but I don't like his final thought. I like Jerry Springer's final thoughts because that was like the original final thought. It's called final thought.
Oh.
I don't have one though.
So long. See you later.
Oh, honey, no.
Ciao. Farewell. Cheerio. These are all synonyms for bye.
No, you gotta have a nice quote. Yes.
I got one in my phone actually. There's a good one.
I have one maybe. Let me see.
Oh my God.
What do I have?
Stay away from half-ass things, half-ass stories, half-ass effort, half-ass love, and half-ass people being half-ass there.
You have to make your happy ending. That shit just happened. Take us out, Jessica.
Anyways, yeah, so if you liked what we discussed today and you feel like you learned some educational stuff,
come on,
you should go follow on YouTube, Houston I'm Just Saying.
Yes.
Also, go stream and listen on Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, and we are now on the application Laughable.
Not the application.
It's called an app. Whatever.
I know, but like she's doing full words.
It's called
now.
Laughable. Laughable. Subscribe, comment, share. If you are on Facebook, share.
You learn more from failure than success.
I swear to God.
No.
Love all.
I don't want to learn nothing.
Trust a few. Do wrong to none. Also known as Shakespeare, bitches.
Don't let yesterday take up too much of today.
Come on now. We only got 24
Look at
hours.
the kind of quotes me and Stacey are saving. Oh, wait, never mind. These are actually my phone. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Guys, if you
oh no.
If you just
oh no.
If you like crying and watching movies and
oh no.
if you want to process your feelings,
don't do that with me. Process them before you go to
yeah, because Jessica's gonna look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah, no, we ain't got time for that.
If y'all want to eat ice cream ice cream and cookie dough that's not cooked, with these young ladies,
it's not good.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't eat that kind of stuff anymore.
She's 2 days brand new.
No, she's 0 days because she just ate cake.
It was a small slither.
I had a small sliver of cake.
Jeez Louise, call
Jessica
me out.
Lola, 51, because you need that 51. She is here for you.
I am here for you.
Come on now, come on.
Stay.
Stace Ari is back.
from a brief stint.
It was very brief.
Hey, she was on a stint. She was on a brief stint away from you.
Such a dummy.
Yeah, she was away from you. And now she's back here for your crying self.
No.
For those crying eyes. She's going to dry those tears, you emotional man.
I
She
don't want
needs
to dry
you.
anybody's tears.
They both need
And
you
King
here.
Callan P will hang out with you as long as it's not on Halloween.
No.
Because he
You don't
ain't
like-
got time for
I don't
that.
like to hang out with people on Halloween.
He old
I gotta
as
go to
fuck.
work, man.
You don't go to work that night.
See, that's what's wrong with y'all young old people.
Yeah.
I'm an old person.
I mean, I'm not gonna
Chase,
wait.
I'm
I
an
have to
old
do
old
something.
person
It's like-
too.
I think it's a
we're gonna be
Thursday.
gone on Halloween. We're all talking like,
See, I'm be at work
we're on
while y'all
vacation.
go. Yeah, no, I'm be at work.
But yes, don't forget to slide into King Colin
Nope.
P's DMs.
No, we don't do that.
Yes, we do.
I think
And when
we're
I
done.
say we, I mean you.
and when I say we mean you.
We mean all y'all.
Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
My DMs are out. I don't even have
That means you
DMs.
can slide into his DMs.
They're off.
And if you can't, you're right
It's
too.
like you trying to slide in, but the bass not even there. Like the bass not even there.
It's there. It's there.
When Drake said, "Some nights I wish I can go back in life, not to change shit, just to feel a couple things twice."
Okay. Hey, we need. That's what we gonna do. We need all Drake quotes.
Yes, that
That's
was
how we
good.
gonna. No, Drake quotes be lit.
There's a lot of stuff I want to feel twice.
Exactly.
I'm out. I'm done.